Hey guys, me Captain JJB84 here. I'm here with a movie review, as if you couldn't tell, of Harry Potter 7. But I did something a little different this time around. Instead of just going out on a limb and just saying stuff at random, I actually wrote down a review this time, so let's begin. Harry Potter 7 had a lot to offer for Harry Potter fans. Though it was fun to watch and visually stunning, it does have its problems. Let's start off with a few positives first. I only read up to the 5th book, so I can't really say how much it follows the story of the book. My friend, however, did read the book, the friend I saw it with, and said it was pretty damn close. The story to this one it almost seems like that of almost like a war movie. That like these three, Ron, Hermione, and Harry. I should call them as the three, or the pack, or the group, or whatever. Seems like they're the only hope. Help me, Harry. You're my only hope. Yeah. If you almost were to take out the fantasy, you pretty much would get a war movie. Kinda. The effects were pretty good, too. Acting-wise, the actors put in a really nice performance. That is to say. Now, let's go into the bad parts. Turning books to the movie is difficult, and J.K. Rowling was the producer for this film, for this one, as well as several of the others. I guess she wanted it as accurate as possible. That's the end of page 1. Just in a little notebook of mine. Though it did seem like the book, there were just a few too many bits that were not needed or just a bit silly. Though the three didn't find the first Horcrux until like a good third of the way through. They didn't find the first Horcrux until like the third of the way through, the locket, unlike the evil pink lady, or whatever. Second, when Ron leaves Hermione and Harry, Harry and Hermione start dancing to the radio for some reason. It was a cute scene, I'll admit that, but like, really? Was it needed? Where was I? We're not giving much of an explanation, it's just to lighten the mood or something. Third, we don't even get to see the villains half the time. We see them at the beginning, we see them here and there, we see them at the end, and that's it. So a good, like, 90% of these guys, of the screen time is given to the pack, the three. We see the main villains at the beginning, all of them: Snape, Wormtail, Voldemort, who else? Draco's father. Draco's father got toned down, though. I remember in the second movie he was really, like, evil-ish, kinda. In this one he's... I'm not gonna get into that. It just didn't seem like Snape. I mean, Draco's father. Another thing with Draco I had is that he had no lines of dialogue at all. In fact, he doesn't even do anything. In fact, I didn't even think I was looking at Draco. Just a blonde-haired white kid half the time. What else is there to say that's wrong with this? And another thing, the villains know where they are half the time. Like, Voldemort tries to find them at one point through his spirit, but can't get to them. And even when the villains do have them, they don't bother to call Voldemort saying, "Oh, we have Harry Potter, come and kill him," or whatever. Whatever. This is the problem I have. I did read part of the 7th book, but the problem I had with the movies is the same with the problem with the book. More than half the movie is just the three walking around doing nothing in a tent half the time. Lastly, and this is probably the biggest thing, when the action really does start to pick up, movie's over. Like, it gets good, like, for the last 20, 25 minutes, but after that, it just gives up on itself. And spoiler alert, the last scene we see is, Voldemort going into Dumbledore's grave and steals the Elder Wand. So, yeah. And then the movie ends. I will say this, though, the story dug a lot deeper into the characters themselves, as well as the possibility that they really are just the only hope. One thing I'm really interested in is where, like, a side note, is where these actors will go to next. Um, like, Daniel Radcliffe, I think, was chosen by Rowling herself. Emma Watson and, what's his name, Rupert Grint, I think. Um, they were just lucky to get the role. They were like 2 out of thousands that auditioned, I think. Um, one last comment I have. There was just the right amount of funny bits to keep the mood good at times. I remember, oh god, one of the most hilarious moments was the one scene where they had to get Harry from his house to Ron's house or whatever. So what they do is they have like 7 people disguise themselves as Harry with like a Polyjuice potion. It's just a hilarious scene. It's really awkward. Yeah. You got George, Fred, 2 characters I can't remember, and Ron, Hermione, and some other guy. Let's see. Where was I here? And the other funny scene before the wedding of the 2 characters I can't remember. Yeah, Ginny and Harry share a few romantic moments, and kissing and all that, and then you see George sitting there sipping a cup of tea. Just drinking a cup of tea. He just grunts. Mm-hmm. Harry looks like, oh, good morning. It's really funny at times. Yeah, just awkward moments here and there. They're pretty funny. Let's see. What else? That's about pretty much all I have to say about the film. Despite its good and bad qualities, I give it a 7.5 out of 10, 3 out of 4. I honestly don't care that it's split into 2. I don't care if they're making money, but like, what's better, a 3-hour film of just the entire book compressed together, or 2 parts where they can explore a lot more deeper into the book and accurately portray it. Okay, I think I should talk about this. The 2 saddest scenes in this movie, one, at the beginning, was the death of Hedwig. Now, it was a lot better than in the book. In this, Hedwig saves Harry, then gets zapped with a Avada Kedavra. And it was so sad to watch. I mean, I got so attached to Legend of the Guardians, Owls of Ga'Hoole, that, like, seeing an owl die is just really emotional to me, considering owls are my favorite birds as well. Another scene, the death of Dobby. I don't know how many fangirls were in the theater, like, sobbing at this. It was ridiculous. I mean, they killed Dobby, like, I never watched the 3rd movie, so I watched the end of it, so I can't really say if he was in there or not. I don't know if he was, but who cares. In the 2nd one, I really liked Dobby in that. But they killed him. They killed Dobby. And with a knife. Hedwig got to die instantly. Kinda. Well, falling from an altitude of a few hundred feet. But still, Dobby was stabbed with a knife. Really sad. Yeah. And a 7.5 out of 10 is as much as I can give it. I was gonna give it an 8.5, but then I really realized where the problems came in. So yeah, I'm just curious what the part 2 will be like. Daniel Radcliffe described in an interview part 2 is gonna be a lot better. It'll be a little more action packed for the fans, and yeah, pretty much. I don't mind they split into 2 parts once again, just to separate for 9 months. Like, it's already made like 50 million, a little more than 50 million, so yeah, it's probably gonna make quite a bit. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 is all I can give it. Well, the lineup was huge as well. I was attacked by a crazy fan because I said something. Like, my friend was, my friend asked me, like, oh, wait, who does Ron end up with in the end? I'm not making this up. And I said, oh, Ron ends up with Hermione. And this guy behind me pushes me. I say, what the hell, man? And he says, no, Hermione belongs with Harry. I'm like, that doesn't happen in the book. I mean, everyone thought that at one point, including me, but that doesn't happen. Then he said to me, I'm not joking here. I wrote a fan fiction. That makes me correct. I just looked at him with this weird face. I'm like, okay. Sure, man. Let's think here. Let's look at this big word we call fan fiction. Yeah, it was weird and ridiculous. I wasn't really attacked, he just sort of pushed me. I'm just like, he just said to me, well, I don't know, this weird guy, just a little older than me. He's like, I wrote a fan fiction, that makes me right. To say you're right when you write a fan fiction it's pushing it. Like, that doesn't work at all. Yep, so maybe if he watches this video, weird guy, 226 or something, I don't know. Not actually easy, I just made that up. Yeah, so, yeah, pretty much. I give it a 7.5 out of 10, 3 out of 4. It was just, I just wish there was just a little more action in it. Like, the parts we got, like, they were good, just too quick. So, yeah, I may get a bit of backlash saying, people are saying, like, oh, you should give it a 9 out of 10. I'm like, nope, 7.5 out of 10. That's all I can give it. That's all I will give it. That's all that it will ever get from me. I just can't wait for part 2, but I now gotta wait like 9 months for it. Which sucks. Whatever. Alright, this has been a Captain's movie review. See y'all later.